All right, we're back. This is Tim Judge with Greenwich Local, and this is the Good News Game Plan with Coach Joe Kelly.
Hello, Tim. We're back. We had to stop because the way the light came in the window here in my studio, we couldn't shoot a program. So the sun now sets at the right time where we can actually shoot a program now. So now we're back, and we're back with a very fun guest. We're back with our mayor, First Selectman Fred Camillo, who is in campaign season right now because he is running. When is this election? Is it November 3rd, 2nd? What is that, Tim? Do we remember? It's early November.
There'll be election. Always the first Tuesday after the first Monday.
So it's the first Tuesday after the first Monday, and that's before the first Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Correct. Okay. And then, but it'll be election day, and election day, we expect people to come to the polls and vote for Fred. And Fred will make his case when he joins us why we should be doing that. And there's been loads of good news since our last program. The last program, I guess, was during the summer, wasn't it, Tim?
I think it was the second week of August or so.
Second week of
just
August.
Before the special election that we had.
That's right. And our man Ryan Fazio, he won that election. We're very nice fella. Alexis, his opponent, she was very gracious in defeat. I saw her just recently in the YWCA women's walk, and we chatted and caught up and stuff. And she's a really nice person. So hopefully she'll contribute to our community and our state or our town in some meaningful way. She has a lot to offer.
I'm sure she will. But we're back into business. I think Fred's trying to get in the room. He might be in a second. I don't see his picture, but we'll bring him in and see if he's going to get through.
Well, I see a little swirly thing going on.
Yep. He's buffering, as they say.
Buffering. Okay. He's doing his buffering. Fred is actually quite a good bufferer. He's been known for his buffering. So hopefully he's able to join us. But we've had a lot of, we can sort of let him buffer and talk about a lot of good stuff that's gone on since our last show.
I think you have the biggest news of all, especially with the insides. Well, are you going to wait to say that in front of Fred?
Well, we had that.
You have your Board of Election, not Board of Education news. Is some good
stadium,
stuff.
You mean? You're talking about the stadium?
I'm talking about the stadium. I'm talking about the rankings.
The rankings, yes, we went from 7 to 4.
Yes.
You know what? A lot of the academics say that rankings are not that very important. Now, Tim, you're in the real estate game. When you have people shopping for homes and they want to know about the school system, they want to know that they're ranked very highly. So I argue and will argue with my board, my district, that rankings are quite important, and I'm going to sort of insist as time goes on that we maybe spend a little time understanding the rankers instead of ignoring them, because sometimes I know that when coaching rugby, a lot of times when I thought I should be ranked over a certain team and had a good case, I would call the ranking organization and say, listen, we believe we should be ranked in the 4th in the country rather than 5th in the country because we beat this team, we did this, we did that. And a lot of times the next week you'd see a higher ranking because you made the case. Yeah. Sometimes there are districts, I believe, that might be ranked higher than us because they have made the contact with the rankers and made their case where we ignored the rankers. So I think we're going to have to change that policy. It's not going to take much to allocate a little extra time to make sure we're recognized for the good we do.
Yeah, absolutely. It does make a little bit of difference when we're choosing where you want to live. It does sway the prices just a little bit. But, there's also people out there that aren't going to be using the cool school system, and so they might not take as much weight to that. But like you said, it's always better to be higher in the ranks than not at all. So we are shining pretty bright these days. So it's a good thing to have.
Well, the fun thing
for everyone.
The fun thing about the ranking and also being able to boast and brag and take pride in the ranking, it's important because it's a contribution by our parents, by our teachers, our administrators, our superintendent, our board, everybody working together to do well. So everyone wants to be recognized. I mean, this is the number one show in Greenwich, and it took a while for us to be the number one show in Greenwich. And if there was a ranking agency that did this, then I would certainly contact them to make sure that they'd make us number one. I don't know if there is a local ranking institution that takes care of that stuff, but in the absence of one, I think it's fair for us, Tim, to take the number one or claim the number one spot. Do you think that's fair?
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Now, I think Fred has just texted me. He might be having some trouble or difficulties. I'm in my campaign meeting, and there's a lot of trouble getting on the staff from Byram. I'm going to run to town hall. So he's running to town hall.
Okay.
Hopefully he's able to do that without injury. I hate to be responsible for our first selectman shuffling off from his campaign meeting over to town hall and then having some sort of injury. So hopefully
does he police escorts around town? Does he, get chauffeured like the mayor of New York or anybody like that?
Oh, absolutely.
Or he drives himself.
Oh no, he actually gets there'll be a fleet of motorcycles taking him from 2 blocks away at his.
Oh, come on, this is Fred. He's riding in the K9 unit.
Of course. Hey, can I sit in the K9 unit? Sure, Fred, go ahead. You can sit in the K9 unit again. No problem at all. So that'll be good. But I also, Tim, we talked about the stadium sometime in the build up to it, because that's been a project we're working on, because that certainly falls into the category of good news. Now, were you able to join us? I didn't see you. Were you able to join us in the game on that we partially opened the stadium for the?
I was there.
Oh, you were there. I
was in section 2, row 9. It was beautiful. I had a great view. I was very excited. Yeah, it was beautiful, and I was very happy that it was open. I was a little disappointed because I was obviously going back for the Bank Raider game this Sunday, and it was closed because I had my heart set, on sitting at the top. What's holding up the full-fledged opening?
Well, the fun thing about the town all working together with, and Fred will bring it up with him when he comes in too, and everyone right from the BET, the money people, and our wonderful first selectman, everyone, they wanted to get this project done. So what they did is they kind of helped things along when it came to some of the he expedited and made sure we got in time inspections that sometimes would take a greater amount of time. But there were some things that we did temporarily. Certainly, we did not compromise safety. We made sure safety things were paramount and make sure everything that safety was done. But there were some things that were incomplete in the project that we had told them we would complete. And since those things were incomplete, we could not get our regular certificate of occupancy. So what we did, we went with a temporary one because, once again, as I mentioned at the beginning, the town is really cooperating on making sure this asset that belongs to the entire town, not just the school, but the whole town, that people across the whole community can enjoy it. So we had a temporary opening with a 1-day certificate of occupancy. And we only found that out Friday afternoon that we qualified for. So we got the word out as best we could. And as we told people, they were thrilled. I mean, the coach took the whole football team. Once they found out in practice, they took them up to the bleachers and they sat them on the bleachers, and he gave them a pep talk, and the kids were yelling and screaming and getting all fired up. I like to tell it. The reporters in the newspapers asked about what it's like, why it's so important to be in Cardinal Stadium. And I kept using the term the kids get superpowers when they're at Cardinal Stadium, because I tell you that when I coached, and I had people in the bleachers. The more, of course, the better. Nothing like we had a game or two that had a lot of people in some of those big games. But at those football games, they really pack them into the stadium at times. And when you get the crowd roaring to support you, and they're really pushing hard, you just kind of feel just power coming from nowhere. And you see the kids just react to that. And you almost see the power and strength being drained from the other team when they're not being cheered for, and they know that the home team is. So there really is a superpower involved in playing in your home field. So against Fairfield Prep, who I think there was ranked slightly higher than us, we, in a very, very close game, in a defensive battle, we came out the better. And I think what gave us the edge being it was the fact it was a home game. So I think that that certainly helped our team and helped the community getting out. Everyone got to the bleachers. We had thousands of people to do a little tire kicking, looking at the new bleachers. They weren't in full display because we, as I mentioned, were incomplete on many of the projects. The bathrooms were not open, the teams' rooms were not open. All those wonderful features that we spent so much time on doing, they weren't quite ready yet.
Yeah. Our friend Claire, who's watching, says, thanks for all your hard work on the stadium so far. And can you remind us of the following phases and the next step in the process with the BET?
Oh, for sure. Well,
so
BET,
yeah, you were just...
BET is great. They've supported the actual building of the stadium. They've supported the handicap parking, which we're going to have the ADA compliancy. What's slowing us up a little bit is the elevator. We have to get the Eversource is giving us there's some with the supply chain, which seems to be affecting everything already. Everyone seems to claim there's a problem with the supply chain if they don't really have that, but they're all claiming it, and they might actually have that supply chain problem. But everyone's claiming that. So some equipment that was on order, they're saying it's a little bit delayed. So we're getting the electricity there. We're putting the ADA parking lot that was being leveled off, and that should the asphalt will be poured, curbs will be poured soon on that. So we feel we have a good opening day for the 30th of this month. So we think that'll be a good one. We'll have a ceremony. Oh, Tim, you're gonna love this stuff. We have at 11 o'clock. I think we're still not sure on the times because there's a committee that's organizing this. We're going to have the ribbon cutting, so we're going to have all the town agencies and groups come by. It's also at the stadium. It's Politico Day. You know, that one day a year that people just kind of duck their heads and try to get through the gauntlet of the vote for me, please. We're having that same day, so they'll set up their signs and we'll have the both opponents running for our local elections, all trying to win favor of the football fans going into Cardinal Stadium. There'll be that one too. We have the honor guard coming in from the police department. We're hoping to have the choir from Greenwich High School singing the national anthem. We have the pep band has reorganized itself and are practicing and preparing for the game so they can sit in the stands and play the music. We contacted former Admiral, retired, John Weigold, who said that he's trying to work on getting us a Navy flyover for the national anthem. So we're either going to get a group of fighter jets that'll buzz the stadium at the national anthem, or if he can't do that, he said maybe he'll try to get a helicopter to go by. And if he said he can't get that, maybe a small propeller plane. So he's going to try to get one of the three. Hopefully not like a drone, because that wouldn't be as exciting. But if you come in with like the Blue Angels or something like that, and they kind of cruise across, that would be really exciting. So working on all these different features to make things fun. There's a committee organizing all this sort of stuff. So we're just trying to make the opening something quite special for everybody, and hoping it draws the crowd in so they can give our team the superpowers to play. Well, they're playing New Canaan, and we all know that there's a big rivalry between Greenwich and New Canaan. So we need to give those players, the boys, the cheerleaders, the girls, I believe the dance team is going to be performing at halftime. We're kind of bringing up. We're also going to try to contact Steve Young. A lot of the young people on the team don't really know who Steve Young is, but we're also reaching out to Mr. Sullivan, who also had a famous career in the professional football ranks. So we're going to see if we can get them to maybe say a few inspiring words to the team to help them get by New Canaan. So it could be on the 30th of October, our grand opening. I believe the term we've been using is extravaganza. So that is the opening extravaganza. So hopefully it all comes together. As I told the committee and the superintendent, I said I put all these grandiose plans together, fully expecting them to reduce the scope.
Yeah.
Some things are more possible than others, but it's nice to dream and shoot for the moon. If we can get it, great. If not, then we'll just shoot for whatever the best thing we could do is.
And right on cue.
There he is. There's our friend Fred. Hello, Fred.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Tim. How are you?
How are
Great.
you?
Good to
We're
see you.
worried about your safety traveling from the meeting to your office. We were hoping you wouldn't trip and fall. I didn't want to be responsible for you being injured leading up to the election. Did you make it okay?
Oh, it made it fine. Didn't even need an escort here. It was good.
No escort? You didn't have the motorcycles and the canine car and all that sort of stuff? No?
None of that.
Perfect. Fred, you know what?
In fact, I jogged here.
You jogged. You got a little bit winded and you caught your breath. But Fred, I'll tell you, as we know, this is the good news program. And basically, the 2 years now, I served on a much lesser capacity serving our community. But you are just an absolute superstar, full of good news on all you've done. When you sit here kind of reflecting on the crazy 2 years that we both got elected to the town service, where you obviously have been an elected official for a long time, but as town service, what a couple of years. Fred, give us some of the highlights of the good news that happened over the last couple of years.
Sure. Oh, Joe, thanks so much. It's again great to be on here. Not much happened besides the 100-year pandemic, a 500-year flood, superstorm, national civic unrest that was threatening to come here, but lots of good things came about. Lauren Rabe and I did address a lot of projects that had been really not getting done for years, and one of them was the Civic Center, which is about to get done. That's about a 30-year wait. The 6-year wait over for the Gem Station 4 on King Street, that's about to get done. A blight ordinance that had been tried maybe 10 or 15 years ago and failed. We promised to get something in front of the RTM. We did, and that passed. We promised to try our best to get outdoor dining to Greenwich in 2019, and that's been one of the great success stories of the last year and a half. It really has transformed Greenwich. We talked about pedestrian-friendly business districts, and with the bump outs and more police protection, and that's been done. We're looking at a new waterfront district. We've put out a couple RFPs, very exciting stuff. We'll be looking at that in the coming days and trying to get something before the town bodies very shortly. Each of our RFPs also have greenery components to it, which is really good. We talked about an energy policy here for the town, and they established an energy management advisory committee. They're going to be releasing their report to us this Wednesday at the Board of Selectmen meeting. So there's a lot going on here. We're really excited, but there's still some more things to do. And as you probably read, that we received a $5 million donation, which was about a year and a half in the making. That's just the beginning. We're working on some other things, but that's for the Civic Center in Old Greenwich. So lots of good news, as you said, Joe.
Well, that's great good news, because that's all good news. I know that one thing that I was so impressed with, probably the thing I was most impressed with, was the amount of time that you've committed to this job. You took on this job, as I mentioned, 2 years ago, and you have just been relentless working at it. Because you've helped me tremendously on the small project that I'm working on for the town, and every time I needed a little nudge from somebody or somebody to cooperate, you just made it as if we're all in this together. And that was the fun thing, because let me call Fred. Maybe he'll be able to give somebody a little nudge, and he would. And you do it in such a nice way where people wanted and felt like they were part of the solving the problem or developing the project or whatever it was, rather than telling somebody to do it. You're like welcoming on board, so they didn't mind coming on a Saturday when they usually don't do an inspection or an off time. They didn't mind coming because they knew they were doing it for the right reason.
But Joe, I want to thank you for all the work you've done there in getting Cardinal Stadium open. That's been, again, there's a project that's been going on, talked about for decades. You got it done. And, if I helped a little bit, that would be like maybe the guy coming in to pitch a half inning in the ninth and getting the save. And you did the first 8.5 innings. So thank you for giving me a lot more credit than I deserved. It was mostly you and your team, and, it's a great team effort.
No, it is a team, but I tell you though, because you're the face, you're the personality of the community now. People look to you, especially in the time of crisis when we went through hard times. They look to you, and you always had that determined look on your face, the willingness to speak to anybody, the smile that you'd offer, and the fact that your courage in walking into things just made everyone feel good. I know that when doing the project, sometimes not everyone's on board, not everyone supports you. But it was really comfortable knowing that if something went wrong along the way, and maybe I goofed on something, I knew that you'd have my back, and knowing that you had my back makes it easy. So everyone in the community that is working on the projects you just listed, because all these groups have building committees, they've got people who are involved. They know that you're not going to throw them under the bus. They know you're going to be there for them, which is the positive attitude, which makes towns grow, which makes things good. So take more credit, Fred. Believe me, you deserve it. And we have an election coming up, and certainly I couldn't imagine anyone in town. I'm going to be shocked if anyone votes against you. I'd be shocked. Who would possibly do that? I don't expect an answer from that because none of us could. Tim, do you know anyone who's going to not vote for Fred?
No, I wouldn't be friends with them anyway, so I don't know.
But it's good because it's not just party politics, because when you got elected, you ran as a Republican with Republican support, but then you welcomed the undecideds and the Democrats right into our town and made one unified group. So, I mean, anyone would be crazy not voting for you in this election. Fred, is it the third or is it the second election day? Have we figured that out?
It's as far as it's November 2nd. It's the
second.
The run for re-election, as you said, ran with you the first time, and serving on the town side is a lot different from serving on the state level. It's a lot more interface with people here, and certainly you're dealing with a lot more issues, and it hits home quicker, and so if you're on the state level, it's a little bit of a separation, not a lot, but a little, where you're on the front lines here. As you know, the Board of Ed is one of the toughest jobs there is, as is the BET and planning and zoning. They're all tough positions, and they're volunteer, and so you're donating your time, your effort, your skill sets, and it means a lot. And it's the proof is what you've gotten done. So thank you. You're just a great symbol of what makes our town work, and I wish every board had a Joe Kelly on it.
Well, Fred, that's really nice of you to say, but you know what? I'll tell you, watching you joined us at that sneak preview of Cardinal Stadium the other day when we snuck that Fairfield Prep game in there, and we didn't let a lot of people know, maybe a couple of thousand. We let them know about the game, and we had it there. But the way you navigated the crowd made everyone happy when you gave the hello and walked through the crowd and said hello to people. As I said, that feeling is just shared amongst the community. I know when you walk away, you don't always hear what people say about you. You hope that people say good things. I had the fortune of even, we'll take the Board of Ed, for example. You made a reference to that. The Board of Ed, as you know, but maybe not everyone knows, it's 4 Democrats and 4 Republicans. And I do know for a fact that all 4 of those Democrats are quite happy with the way you serve as first selectman. I'm not sure they'll all vote. Sometimes people vote for their party, even though the best decision might not be. But I'll tell you, though, there's a good chance that some of those Board of Ed members who are on the other party might very well be happy to support you, because the way you listened to them, you heard what they had to say, and you made them feel good about themselves. So it's all good.
You're nice to say that. At the end of the day, I think whether anybody votes for you or not, if they're not out there working against you because maybe you didn't do a good job, or maybe you didn't get along with people, that becomes an issue. Obviously, if you're running for an office, but I think the best somebody can do is, if somebody's in an opposite camp ideologically, is to gain their respect. Like, you played sports your whole life, right? Respect's a big deal, and you want your opponents to respect you as you respect them. And at the end of the day, in a lot of cases, they become your good friends. I still have a lot of people and friends, colleagues, ex-colleagues I serve with in Hartford that have called me in the last few days and sent me notes and wishing me well, and I do the same with them. And they're not always in the same party, but we just get along really well. And even those are the ones live up in the northern part of the state that are supporters of the Boston Red Sox, I still overlook that, and they overlook my faults.
That's awesome. Now, I do have to say, though, let's look a little forward. And you were able to I guess it was your first 2 years were new. All sorts of curveballs being thrown at you during the first 2-year shift. But you were able to bring the energy level up. Now you're in campaign season now. You want to make sure that you secure yourself another couple of years, because you got a lot of projects halfway done, a quarter of the way done in the dream works that you want to bring to fruition right now. So you were able, with all the adversity, bring your energy levels so high and so up, and the newness of things might have contributed to that. But now here we go into an election. It's 3 weeks away. You have unbelievable energy. It must excite you now going in. And what's going to be the things that you think looking forward are going to lift your energy level up and going to make you so pleased and as excited you were the first couple of years?
Well, as far as in the next 3 weeks, or if fortunate enough to get another
next
term?
3 weeks, you're a seasoned campaigner. You know that the energy's there for that. I'm talking about the day after election day when when hopefully you've secured the position, which I'm absolutely sure you will. But what are the things that I know the people support, the excitement? Give me a couple of things that you see forward that are going to help you just get fired up about doing your job.
Well, that's a great question, Joe. So I never let myself get that far, especially this close to an election. But what I will say is that every time that an election is over, you're just relief. There's a little bit of fatigue because it catches up with you, but you also it doesn't take long before the adrenaline kicks in again, and you start to get really inspired and energized about going forward and getting another term to serve the people. And if you have an agenda and you've as you said, some of these things have been completed, some are just getting started, some are in the beginning stages. So there really is a lot to do. And I think when people see some of the say like the waterfront project for Island Beach and Roger Sherman Baldwin Park, that really is going to be transformational for Greenwich, and it just adds to what the uniqueness of Greenwich. It's respecting our great past, but also offering a bold vision for the future that will include maybe a few more restaurants, more green space, more outdoor dining, easier ways to travel between Greenwich Avenue and the waterfront, and maybe having those underpasses lit up there and cleaned up a little bit. All part of the works, and maybe connecting it to the brand new Bruce Museum. And also, we haven't forgotten about Greenwich Plaza, where the movie house is. So, that's around the corner too, and that's a private enterprise. But certainly, we're in contact with them and with the developer there. Even though it didn't work out with the air rights, we're proud of how that came out, and we're certainly looking forward to working with them. They've been great partners for the town for many years, and we want to help them really transform where the movie house is over at on Railroad Avenue, and see what's coming next there. But they do want to fit in what's going on at the bottom of the avenue and possibly with the waterfront too.
Well, with the waterfront, hopefully my volunteer involvement in the community doesn't not allow me to put a bid into for one of those restaurants that we could have down there. I told you, Fred, that would be great if I could set up a restaurant, bring a bunch of our crowd in, and all be partners of the restaurant, and just make it a real hometown community restaurant on the waterfront. If such things exist, I would love to be part of something like that, because that would be the real. Well, that's the heart of the community, when people who are from the community actually create opportunities like that for people to come out, hang around, and enjoy themselves. So hopefully I'll be able to, when the opportunity comes up, hopefully I could put my bid forward and see if I could win it, so I could open up my dream place down there. Would be great.
Well, that would be great, and hopefully we'll see in a couple of years if there's a big shamrock hanging out there in Railroad Avenue and Arch Street, then we'll know that you were successful.
Oh, fantastic. And speaking of shamrocks, happy Columbus Day to you, my Italian friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're still celebrating there.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Fred, once again, that's great. It's always a pleasure to speak to you. And if there's anything, and I'm sure Tim feels the same way, if there's anything that we could do to help you within these next 3 weeks leading up to the election, please let us know. And anything you want to, any party comments you want to make, what did we have, 20,000 people viewing so far, Tim? Is that the number we have?
The number just keeps going up. It just keeps going up. But one question we have here, Yuki says, how do I get one of those Fred hats?
Oh, we have them all down. Just email me or text me at 203-585-7800, and I'll drop one off.
All right. If you didn't get that, you can watch it on the replay on YouTube, because we'll be there, and the Facebook page. And Claire puts up the nice shamrock, so she's looking forward to your bar. Joe. She said that's obviously a vote of confidence. Fred
We'll
is
at least have
already on
one
the move.
gesture. Fred's cool.
Yeah, we
Fred's
have
got his
some
next thing to
late
go to.
night
Thank you, Fred. Always a pleasure to talk to you. We'll talk to you soon. Anything we can do to help you, just let us know.
Joe, thank you so much. It's always an honor to be with you. And Timmy, good to see you. And we'll see you around town.
All right. See you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Be well.
Sounds good.
Thank you. He's great. He's just there's just so much positivity comes from him. We're just so lucky to have him as our first selectman, and hopefully he'll continue. And I'm sure he'll continue. So hopefully
bet
he'll
he
give
will.
us another 2 years after that.
I applaud him for going back after it. I've said it to him many times. I can't believe the job he does when it was for the state and now for the town. But especially in this time of the pandemic when everybody's hands are tied and mouths are covered. It slows the process of everything you want to get done like 10 times slower. So he has to listen to everybody's heartache about beyond that situation. But, just trying to get things done is not easy at all. So the job he signed up for was nothing like he thought it would be or described to him. Everybody's got hurdles and hiccups, but this is not a hurdle and a hiccup. This is something entirely different. And Fred takes it in stride like I've never seen anyone do. So I applaud him and I support him in any way I can.
Fantastic. Well, that's great, Tim. It was great resuming these shows. I think we're in I guess we're in Politico season now, so there'll be a few other folks that we like that we'll invite on the program.
We can invite the ones we don't like.
No,
see how that happens.
I would say invite them both. I wanted to have a clerk debate because I think that could be one of the funniest things ever. But I'm not sure the two want to debate each other. They'd like to be on the show and say hello, but I don't think a debate between clerks. Nothing's good comes from clerks debating. I don't think, Tim. What do you think?
I don't know. I think I'd like to see it happen, just like you would. Mary Elizabeth O'Connor says, "Tell him where headquarters is." Do you know where headquarters is? I don't know.
Headquarters is on Route 1. It's over by, not quite at McDonald's. I'm trying to think. I don't know the address. Mary, if you type in the address, I'll say where the where headquarters is. I know it's on, as you're heading towards Old Greenwich from Greenwich Central. It's on the right side before you get onto exit 5. I'm not sure how to describe where it is. I don't know the address, but you'll see signs, I'm sure, there. And I guess that's what Mary's talking about. So if she wants to give us the address, we could certainly announce that.
Well, I did find the fredforfirst.com website, and I'm sure there's a link on there somewhere that says where the address is. But I think I'll repeat the number, 203-341-6112, which is on that website. So if you want to text him, he'll get you a hat, or if you want to visit him, you can call him and ask him if he's there.
Fantastic.
For that. So countdown to the election is 22 days, 2 hours, 57 minutes. I've never seen a countdown on a political website before, but fredforfirst.com if you want to check it out or send them a note. And then she said right near the School of Rock.
All
right.
That's the icon I should have identified that it is right next to the School of Rock. All right.
See,
Mary,
you go by fast food. She goes by music.
Exactly. We all know Mary rocks. So thanks for that. By the School of Rock, which is the headquarters for Fred and his Republican teammates. And we'll try to get more of those teammates out on some shows leading up. How many days? 22 days. How many hours did you say, Tim?
22 days, 2 hours, 57 minutes, and 6 seconds. So
perfect.
You've got just a little bit of time.
Great. Thanks. We'll try to run a couple of shows leading up to that. So hopefully it'll be fun because they're all positive people. Good.
And we should get some people in here that had a lot to do with that stadium, because I did get a chance. I was there last week for that first game, and it was beautiful. It's going to be a spectacular event.
Well, we'll have a few people on the lead up. Maybe we'll get Steve Young on the show. What do you think, Tim? That would be kind of cool.
I'd probably do that. He's not a local guy anymore, is he?
Nope.
So we'll get him to dial in. It'll be easy enough. And he can just, say his words to us, since we're the number 1 show in town.
Self-proclaimed number 1 show in town.
Oh, I submit your our competition, please. I'm happy to hear.
Perfect. All right. Have a good night, Tim. Thanks. We'll see you.
You got it, Joe. Good
news. Good stuff. Thank you. See ya. Bye.